Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. It is late night. The Hawks are 0-2. It's a tank win. We've got a lot of hockey to talk about on this late night where we landed from Denver a few hours ago. Got to watch the riveting Bears game.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the Hawks on the second screen. First screen for me, of course, being that it's my job and all that. But boy, oh boy, fellas, it's been a long day. It's going to be an even longer night, but let's get to it. This is one of these games. It's sort of like we talked about last night. The Hawks are going to compete. They're going to play hard. And I don't want to go any further without mentioning the name Alex Stalock, who, despite the several heart palpitations he gave me with his adventures out of the crease in this game, he was outstanding. The Hawks lose 1-0. It could have been a lot worse. At the same time, they could have won this game too. So they were in it. They played hard. They had their chances. And it's just like it was against Colorado. It's a matter of talent. And they just don't have a lot of talent on this team.
Yeah, Stalock plays goalie like I play goalie in NHL 23. I'm all over the place, but he actually makes the saves.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been joking about, Mrazek and Stalock as, the tandem this season, but these two games, I mean, Mrazek got no help having to try and kill off 6 power plays against the Avalanche. Like, good luck with that. But, outside of that, like, he didn't look too bad, at least at 5-on-5 against the Avs. And Stalock tonight, like, he was the only reason this game was any close. So, I mean, I'm not going to go off and say, hey, we might have some Jennings, Jennings trophy aspirations or anything like that. But, I mean, it's great to see. And just for Stalock, his story of, missing time.
Yeah.
Because of complications due to COVID and everything, and just being able to come back and was this his first game in like 2 years? Or
no, he played one game last year.
Yeah, I think it was his second NHL start in 26 months.
Yeah, so to come out and be able to do that with just very little NHL time in the last like 2 years, like, it was impressive. So yeah, exactly the kind of loss in these last 2 games that we kind of have been talking about, where the plan is to tank, plan is not to win, but at least they're showing some of the things that we want to see from this team.
Yeah, they still don't have a 5-on-5 goal this season through 2 games, and it might take them 7 or 8 games to get there at this point. Andreas Athanasiou, my guy. Finish for the love of Christ, please. If he scores on that early breakaway, he had the defense beat. There wasn't a guy within 15 feet of him.
Yeah.
And just right into the goalie. If he scores there, who knows what happens?
Yeah.
I know we're all about tank losses. We're all about not getting points, but man, finish your damn chances.
They're gonna have to win some games just to make this, bearable.
But listen, if you want to trade a guy like that for a decent return, he's got to put the puck in the net.
Yeah.
It's Victor Stahlberg all over again with this guy.
There were a few chances the breakaway obviously in the first, and solid save. I don't want to take anything away. Nice kick save on the backhand there, but there were a few chances where you saw it on the penalty kill where that's why Richardson has him out there to make an offensive play every now and again. and they came, but there's just no finish to his game. And just sort of generally, fellas, our eyes have been trained over the last 15 years for hockey to look a certain way, right? For a pass to be completed or, a puck to be held in. And when you've got the talent deficit that the Hawks have, those passes are off by a little bit, or you can't hold the puck at the line, or, you go behind the net and you're a step, like Jujar Kara could have had a breakaway, but he was a step too slow. That's the talent gap. It's those little fractions of inches that, if that pass had just been on the money, it could have been a breakaway or a one-timer or whatever. And those happen again and again and again and again through the course of the game. We're like, maybe there's something. Nah, the pass was at his feet, or it hopped over his stick, or whatever. We see it over and over and over again. And that's the difference between these elite teams. When the Hawks were 4 lines deep and 6 defensemen deep, everybody could make a stretch pass on the entire team on the money. That's the difference between the Avalanche and the Blackhawks, right? Like, it's just,
and about 85 other things, but yes.
Well, right, but it was just like, it was just the frustration of,
yeah.
I see what they're trying to do, but they just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it too, I think, is still learning the system. And as we talk about the lone goal the Hawks gave up to Cotter, they had some. They just got off the power play. The Hawks had some good looks. I think they had 3 shots on that power play. Kurashev brings the puck in, gives it to Taves. Taves gets tied up a little, and I couldn't tell if he was attempting a shot or a pass, like into the slot. Either way, it's not a hard enough attempt because he's obscured by the defenseman, and they're off to the races the other way. It was a 2-on-1. Caleb Jones, who we're going to get to because I think he had a pretty brutal game. Caleb Jones has no shot on that one. Stalock has no shot. It is a 2-on-1 with no help coming the other way, and that's the difference in the game. It's the turnovers. It's killing.
It was the second 2-on-1 breakaway allowed.
Yes,
in like a span of like 30 seconds or maybe a minute. And on the first one, Stalock made the save, but Philip Roos, you got it. And same with Caleb Jones on both of them. Like, you guys either got to commit to take away the pass and let it be a goalie 1-on-1, or you got to take away the shooter and force him to either make a cross ice pass or shoot the puck earlier than they want to. You can't just stand there in the middle. We joke about it, but at least some guys, Brent Seabrook, Eric Gustafson, at least some of them would hit the deck and force a shot early or take away the pass lane. But you can't just stand there, and you got to make a commitment earlier than that. And on the second one, Stalock had no chance. It was just a rip by Cotter.
Yeah, Caleb Jones had the old your controller batteries died on that one. He just got stuck in between, wasn't sure what to do, but you can't do nothing. If you're not sure, just fall down and take the pass away, right? Like, that's what you have to do.
And he put his stick out to like cover the pass when it was obvious that Cotter was already committed to shoot. Like, it was like, I'm gonna do something. It's the wrong thing. Like, he was already already halfway through his back, follow through when he decides to take away the pass. Not a great game for Caleb Jones. Took a lousy penalty in the third period, down a goal too. And then there was a play, I want to say it was the second period. Philip Roos made a real nice play to take away the puck, passes it across to Caleb Jones, and again Jones puts it right in the middle back of the ice, and it leads to a Vegas scoring chance. So, I'm not down on Caleb Jones as a lot of Hawks fans are. We already got it in the chat. I get it on Twitter. But he's got to be better than that. I expect him to be an elite defenseman? Do I expect him to play at the level his brother Seth is? Seth, by the way, really good game tonight.
Yeah, Patrick Sharp was all over it with Seth
and
Jones.
He was correct.
Calling out all the little things. Yep.
Very disruptive in his own end. He was taking away passes, and he was super physical last night against Colorado. So
8 hits last night.
Yeah, 7 of those in the first 2 periods. He was all over the place. He was. I guess he was like, if you may be fast enough to skate by me, but you can't skate through me. I don't know what that was, but
27:05 for Jones tonight.
He was great. Seth was great. Caleb needs to be better. I don't have high expectations for Caleb, but my expectations for him are much better than what we saw tonight.
Yeah, I think
first game though, I'm not going to get
We got people on chat saying he's not in, he shouldn't be in the NHL, and it's only because his brother. No, he is better than that. He's better. This is the worst game he played as a Hawk, in my opinion, and it's understandable because he's coming off an injury. Hasn't played in a game situation in a few weeks. Like,
and he's paired with Philip Roos, who he's never played with. So like if it's 14, 15 games in the season, he's still playing like this, then it's time to maybe figure out something else. But it's one game on the road after an injury. Just take it, be better. That's it. Learn from it. But the first period tonight was I enjoyed. Like the one thing that we've noticed right off the bat is, and I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but the days of this team just looking completely unprepared and not ready to play at puck drop, I think are over. Now, I'm sure there will be times when it's inevitable. Teams are going to come off flat, but this team looks prepared and competent in the first period. They were really good to start this game. I really like how they played through the neutral zone early. They were taking away a lot of passes through the neutral zone. That's exactly what Luke Richardson has preached during training camp. Is he wants to pressure in the neutral zone and get the puck going the other way. And they did that for a lot of the first period. Second period, they just got owned in the second period, but then was good in the third period again. So it was kind of like last night. The first and third periods were decent. Third period in Colorado was really good, but that second period, it's what we've been expecting all season. But the compete level's there, and that's what you want to see. A competitive loss. Let's get 80 more of them.
I'm not singing. Brandon just put the lyrics to a Bryan Adams song, little adaptation in the chat. I am not singing that, but I see you, and I appreciate the creativity on a late night broadcast and now Friday morning broadcast. Here's the thing with Jones, and if you want to throw Jared Tenorti into this too, if Alec Regula is with the NHL club, Alec Regula should be in the lineup. I don't want him missing games for Jared, I forgot his name already, Tenorti, or Caleb Jones. I just don't. Like, neither of those guys. And look, I don't hate Caleb Jones. He's fine. He is a number 6 or 7 NHL defenseman.
We know what we have in Caleb Jones.
Right, exactly. But I don't need to see Jared Tenorti. What is that accomplishing? I don't get that at all. Regula's a guy who can add some offense, which they're obviously a little bit starved for. He's certainly faster than Tenorti, who I know that was he got stuck on a long shift, but he looked like me out there, man. Like it was bad for a little bit.
Well, not known for the wheels.
No.
I'm glad you brought it up because there was a very interesting little tidbit. I actually had to listen to the first 3 minutes of the game in the car. I had to go pick up my dogs from my sister, who dog sit for him while we were in Denver. Thank you, Melissa, for that. They appreciate that. But with traffic and everything, but at the beginning of the game, it might have been before, but I had the pregame show on. Troy Murray was talking about Caleb Jones back in the lineup and Tenorti playing, and it said that he believes that both Regula and Vlasic are going to get time in Rockford this season to play down there. Big minutes, big situations. So that could be the plan. Hey, once they get everybody kind of back and healthy, those two guys are going to go to Rockford and be big time players down there, which I'm for. If they're not going to play here, get them down there, get them playing winning hockey, get them playing, top PK minutes, top penalty play, put them in all the situations that they're not going to see here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's all. Look, if they got to play, that's the thing. If it's Rockford, fine, but not in a press box in Vegas. That accomplishes nothing. I don't like that.
I think once as far as we've kind of heard from Luke Richardson, I believe it was before yesterday's game, speaking about kind of the injury timeline. It sounded like McCabe was on pace to probably play the home opener. So that don't quote me on that, but that kind of sounded like what Luke Richardson was alluding to. So I mean, if Vlasic and Regula are going to be sent down and play 20 plus minutes a night in Rockford, get some special teams time and be part of the development plan and process with the rest of the prospects that they're gonna, hopefully, gel with and learn, get some chemistry with and build a winning culture in the minor leagues with. That's fine. The waiver claim for Jared Tenorti was a very clear move of, we need a NHL veteran with a pulse that can stay in the NHL and be a buffer between, the bottom of the lineup and the rest of the prospects that the Blackhawks are hoping develop and marinate with the Ice Hogs and compete with them. So if that's the plan and it's executed that way, I'm totally fine with it. But to the point, if Alec Regula is just sitting just to sit, to play Jared Tenorti, to play Caleb Jones, unless he's egregiously not getting it in practice or in skates or whatever, he's got to be playing. So yeah, if the plan is to have McCabe get healthy back in the lineup, and then your rotation is Tenorti and Caleb Jones and, I don't know, maybe Jack Johnson. I'm not sure. Philip Roos is maybe part of that too. If that's the rotation in and out, that's fine. That's a tanking defense.
Yeah, let's talk about Roos a little bit, because I think he's looked pretty decent over the last 2 games. When you look at the game cards from last night, he was very blue to the right, and from what I'm told, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, little peek behind the curtain. Mario sent us that game. What are they? The game cards or whatever.
The game score. Yeah.
With the blue lines. I have no idea what any of that means. We got back to the Airbnb, and we were talking about the game in our Lyft ride back, and I was like, you know what, Jared Tenorti, he kind of looked, to me, he had a decent game last night. He made that nice play in the second period, threw out a couple hits, and then he sends us the scorecard, and Tenorti is the only one with the blue line all the way to the left. I'm like, well, I guess some damn blue lines told me. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
That
was
no, Roos has been fine for
a
guy that's never played in North America, playing in the NHL. He looks confident out there. He doesn't look panicked.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't look. There a lot of times you even see veteran defensemen, not just young defensemen. Anytime a forward comes and forechecks on when they got the puck, they panic. He doesn't have that in him, at least so far. And that's good. That's going to get you a lot further than if you freak out anytime someone gets it within 10 feet of you. So he's been fine. There's no reason to take him out of the lineup at this point. And I think maybe part of the reason he's got Regula, and maybe they're holding up. The Ice Hogs haven't started their season yet either. They open up this weekend with back-to-backs in Winnipeg against the Manitoba Moose, Saturday and Sunday afternoon. So they might be waiting. They want extra D on this 3-game West Coast road trip, so they might be waiting for the team to get back, and then they send them to Rockford and let them get a full week of practice before they play with them the following weekend. That could be the plan. But then again, you know what? We've thought many times this summer in this training camp and these first 2 games that we've got our thumb on the pulse, and then they do the complete opposite. So we'll see.
Yeah. You mentioned it too, like Roos with the calm. He is an older rookie with some pro experience, and the game looks like it moves a little bit more slowly for him than some of the other young guys. So yeah, I mean, rotate it, whatever. Just bottom line, don't be wasting kids' development with them in a press box, right? Vlasic and Regula. And I think maybe they weren't sure what Caleb Jones' status was. Maybe this morning. Maybe they said, let's have the morning skate, see how it goes, see how he feels. They activated him very late. I think it was like during the Bears game he got activated. It was or maybe right before.
Yeah, well, I think
it wasn't. Go ahead. Sorry, Mario.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think before the game, Phil Thompson had tweeted out that that Caleb Jones was going to be in the lineup, and then the official activation off of IR came 30 minutes before puck drop or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, so maybe with that case, then they'll send one of them back. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's something to watch, but I just again, just sort of I feel after this one kind of like I felt last night, and it was, I think, a little more frustrating because last night felt so they're not going to win this, right? Today felt a little more winnable, and as the game went on, it was like, oh my god, come on, like just generate something. And that's what Sharp said. Like they've had a few good looks, but they haven't been able to sustain anything.
Yeah.
Maybe you had 1 or 2 shifts, and the power play wasn't great either today. They had the one where they had 3 shots on goal, and one of them, none of them were, super high danger chances by any means. But again, that's the talent gap.
I think if they can knock it down after these 2 games, these 2 losses, and they carry, the way that they played last night and then tonight, and they carry that over into Saturday, we might be talking about a win on Saturday.
Yeah,
I think they, the way that they've played these first 2 games, they've played obviously 31, 30 other NHL teams are more talented than the Blackhawks. But they're playing 2 teams that are more talented than they are. But Colorado is the cream of the crop in the league. Vegas is a borderline playoff team if you squint hard enough. So, then you get to play in the Sharks. If the Blackhawks have a kind of effort that they've had in the last 2 games against a team like the Sharks, who are closer to them in talent level, we might be talking about a win on Saturday. Which, I mean, hey, if you go 1-2 for each 3-game stretch, if you go 1-2, I think that would be doing some quick math. I think that would be probably ending the season in the Connor Bedard range.
Yeah.
Brandon asked if he should go to Saturday night's Sharks game. He's got an hour drive. Yeah, it's Saturday night at the NHL game. Go. Yeah. And if you go, click on the game time link in the description right below the YouTube video after you hit that like button, and then get your tickets there because you're going to save a ton of money.
Yeah. That game time is clutch.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
As the kids say.
Should we talk about another awesome money-saving opportunity that our fans can get now?
Yes.
I am super stoked for our newest sponsor, Shady Rays. I'm a big fan. When they told us we've got them coming on board, I own multiple pairs, including these are my favorites. Right here, I'm going to put them on for the read.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Actually, I'm not because I can't see the copy. But you can see that. That's how good they are. I can't even see my computer screen when I have them on, so don't wear them at work. But Shady Rays is my favorite sunglasses company. I love a good pair of sunglasses. These are high quality. They are a great value. The folks over at Shady Rays never understood why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out to change it. And you don't have to break the bank for quality sunglasses this fall because our friends at Shady Rays have you covered. Shady Rays are premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. I love these, especially when I'm driving. Everything is so crystal clear. And the best part about Shady Rays, they have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear, lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your shades on day 1, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Dropped in a lake, falling off a cliff, throwing them at a referee after a bad call at a Hawks game, they'll replace them. No
like falling off a cliff. Tell Shady Rays to replace
exactly. Well, I meant the glasses falling off the cliff, not the person wearing them.
Okay.
Oh boy, yeah. So they obviously Shady Rays customers agree with the quality and the protection program. They have over 200,000 5-star reviews. And here's the even better part: Shady Rays also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order place, and have donated over 20 million meals to date. They stand by the product and have told our team that if anyone has a problem, they will throw profit out the window and do what it takes to get it right. Free returns and exchanges. You either love the Shady Rays or they will pay you to ship them back. That's it. End of story.
Sweet.
And the absolute best part, an exclusive deal for our CHGO listeners, because we love you and Shady Rays love you. They are running their deepest discount deal to date. Use the promo code CHGO at checkout for 50% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. That's buy one, get one free, kids. You can get 2 pairs of the coolest sunglasses I've ever worn for as low as $54. Redeem at shadyrays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades. Check them out. You'll love them. I promise.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I can't wait. Mine are en route. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting my hands on a pair of Shady Rays there. The two sunglasses, pairs of sunglasses that I currently have, were both groomsmen gifts. So they are they're good. They're good quality for what they needed to be. The pair of sunglasses I had in the summer that are now at the bottom of the chain of lakes. I wish they could have been a pair of Shady Rays so I could have gotten them replaced.
Well, I'm gonna add that to the read. Instead of falling off a cliff at the bottom of the chain of lakes next to Mario's glasses.
That's right where they are. Yeah. But so Shady Rays, they are the top of the line in sunglasses. And when it comes to your gut health, sunglasses are not going to do anything for you. But what can help you is some Athletic Greens and their AG1 formula designed to optimize your immune system, improve your gut health, and give you more natural energy. In just one scoop of AG1, you absorb 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics and adaptogens to help you start or finish your day the right way. And if you have different dietary restrictions or choose to eat in different lifestyle diets, whether they are gluten-free or dairy-free or vegan or whatever it is, you can incorporate AG1 into those diets without any problems. It's easy to incorporate it into your life, no matter how busy you might be, because it's a small, once-a-day habit with big benefits. Just one scoop of AG1 in a cup of water every day. That's all you need to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. To make it even easier, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase when you go to athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Yeah. Yep. That's all true. Good job. I'm reading multiple things at once. That's why I'm distracted. And I'm also completely on fumes. Brandon is a man after my artery clogged heart, asking if the cheese curd burger from Culver's is legit. Yes, I had one today. It was wonderful. You know what I want to talk about? A couple people in the chat have talked about the happiness or contentment of Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane. And I would say Kane is hard to judge while watching on ice because even in his prime, even in his most motivated days, the piano would arrive on his back when it was time to back check, even in the glory days. So it's hard to watch him on the ice and see how hard he's competing. He sort of picks his spots. He's very good at it. He's the best American-born player ever. It just is what it is. I had my doubts about Toews, considering how he looked in the preseason. I thought he looked fantastic against Colorado. Not as good in this one, but still definitely the second best Blackhawk on the team. I think that's an easy thing to say.
Yeah.
Maybe put him under Seth Jones if you want to, but through 2 games, Toews looks good. And, you saw him on the bench talking to Philip Kurashev. He's engaged, right? He's helping these younger players. Jack Johnson talked yesterday after the game about how Toews was a guy saying, hey, if you want us to come out on the ice with you for this ceremony, we'll do it. Whatever you want to do, go out there, be with your teammates, whatever. He is showing leadership, and that's what we wanted to see from him. Obviously, he scored a goal last night, so the offense through 2 games has been there. He's on pace for 41 goals after all.
It's not so bad.
Yeah, so I don't know. All we can kind of do is go as the season goes, and you got to say, like, I'm sure they're frustrated after these 2 games, but at the same time, they're not. Look, anyone who's played sports at an organized level, like high school sports or whatever, if you are supposed to win a game or not, right? Like you have a pretty good idea. Like when I played football at St. Lawrence, I knew when we went to play Mount Carmel, we were not going to win. As much as I would like to, we'd fire ourselves up and pretend like we thought it was going to happen. I think if the Hawks come away from this trip with 2 points, they'll be pretty satisfied. Not pleased, because I think this one maybe feels like it got away a little bit. But I think if you look at this trip on the whole, if they get a win in San Jose, it's positive, right? They didn't get laughed out of the building in Colorado, despite the score looking probably worse on paper than it was.
Yeah.
A 1-goal loss on the road 24 hours after the first game of the season tonight. I don't know. I think you kind of have to head home to Chicago. Hell, even if you get 1 point in San Jose, feeling okay as long as the games have remained looking as competitive as they've been.
Yeah, I agree with that. But on the flip side, what happens if you go to San Jose and lay a complete turd? And,
That's different.
And then you're gonna all that good vibes and
Yes.
feeling positive was right out the window.
Absolutely.
Because everybody saw when we saw this schedule release that the San Jose game is the one game you have the best shot of actually winning. Tonight's game was winnable, no doubt. Alex Stalock played his ass off and deserved a couple of goals there to help him out. Logan Thompson was really good too. It wasn't like the Hawks. The offense looked better tonight, at least for this first and third periods. The second period, it was gone, but it was better. They had more offensive chances tonight, more shot attempts, more shots on goal than they did last night against Colorado. A lot of that had to do is because they weren't on the penalty kill 6 times, only 3 times tonight.
That helps.
Yeah, that definitely helps. But you go to San Jose and you play like you did tonight, and you can find a way to get some offense. Then you feel good. You go out there and lay an egg and lose 4-0.
Yeah, it's totally different.
You're coming home like going, man, this is bad. So we'll see how that goes. It should be an interesting game Saturday night. Another late night game for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll be with
here.
you just like this. It'll be remote, but we'll be with you.
But I will definitely be napping at some point on Saturday before that one.
Yeah. Today I was like, I should take a nap. And then I didn't really walk in the door until like 5. I hadn't seen my daughter in 3 days. So I want to hang out with her a little bit. I'm like, well, I'm not going to sleep for 20 minutes. I'm going to watch the Bears game. And now I'm just like,
that didn't put
my
you to
eyes
sleep?
are on fire.
I only watched one play of the Bears game, and it was the last one. And that was the most Bearsy way to lose a football game if I've ever seen one. 2 guys in the end zone, one guy drops it, the other guy can't. Like, dude, run over the line, doesn't catch the ball.
Yeah,
but whatever. Hey,
our buddy,
the Bears are losing like we want the Hawks to lose. Get those
moral victories.
Just close enough to get you into it, but not over the edge.
No. No Roids Just Rage says, you notice how Kane really is kind of lost out there without DeBrincat or someone who can play his style of game. Yeah, there was a video before last night's game. He used to always do one-timer drills with DeBrincat, and he was in his typical one-timer slot, and like he had no one to play with. He was like Millhouse throwing the frisbee back and forth to himself.
Yeah.
And finally, I think it might have been Philip Roos.
I think it was Roos. He just started throwing pucks at Roos and said, "Throw them back to me."
Yes. It was kind of sad. And look, I think Domi's played pretty well. Athanasiou's had his chances, which he will because he's fast but can't finish. And Domi's been putting the puck on net, or at least trying to. I officially did not finish with a shot on goal tonight. I don't think that's right. I recall a couple opportunities for him. I don't know. Maybe they got blocked.
I thought he had one in the I thought he had one in the first period at least.
Vegas had a ton of block shots though. They had 19
but that would still count as an
shots,
attempt.
So. Right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. I don't know. We got to look at the game card and see how blue to the right he is. That's how you know how good somebody is.
You know what? Now, just because you said it, I'm gonna go find it.
Yeah, go take a look.
I think Domi and Athanasiou and Kane, it's going to come together eventually. But I mean, these like we said last night, it's not easy to play with Patrick Kane as much as you think it is.
Right. He got spoiled there with Panarin and DeBrincat,
Yeah. So I just think, it'll take some time for these guys who are, just trying to figure out their game. I mean, they keep saying like, oh, they all played at the same junior team. Yeah, but decades apart. Like it's not like they were, teammates or anything ever. So
yeah. The uniform has like kinetic, so even though it was 5 years ago, we have natural chemistry because we both wore green.
Yeesh. Looking at the game scores here is not good.
If we get to the point where Luke Richardson is going to break up that Kane line, which I'm sure he will at some point, but I think Richardson is going to keep patience with that line and let them develop some chemistry together.
Yeah.
And plus, he's probably got some directions to be like, hey, I signed these two guys to trade them, and they're not gonna, their best chance of getting a lot of points is playing with 88, so keep them together. But the one guy I want to see get some time with Patrick Kane when it's time to switch, I think he's earned it, is Philip Kurashev.
Agreed.
I'd like to see him on that line.
Yeah.
He's looked pretty good, and we said it all last year with Dylan Strome. Hey, when you put good hockey players with other really good hockey players, they seem to play better. So maybe put Kurashev up there for a game or two. Let him stay there, not just like 2 or 3 shifts. Give him an entire game or two and see what happens. He's earned it. I think
he's looked good.
I think he's a guy that unfortunately, and Derek King even admitted it to us when he visited our studios late last season, that was one of the mistakes he made, was not really being able to find a role for Philip Kurashev, and that the Hawks really haven't. So this season, let him be a top 6 forward and see if he can do it. What is there to lose except more hockey games? What you want to do if it doesn't work out?
Yeah,
figure it out this season.
This is the opportunity, the best opportunity that he has to be put into a role like that, because there's not many other players that could play that style. And yeah, if you're looking for a guy who's got some skill that could potentially mix well with Patrick Kane, go for it. Like, there's nothing that says you have to handcuff those 3, Kane, Domi, and Athanasiou, together. I mean, you can mix things up. There's no reason that Luke Richardson can't try and see what different pairings can do together. Just because Athanasiou and Domi and Kane probably have the most skill on the team, just because that's the case, the 3 of them don't have to always play together. Like, you can throw in a Philip Kurashev, and part of why I wanted Lucas Reichel to be in the NHL to start the season was because, yeah, he's a guy that has a lot of skill that could play off of Patrick Kane. Try and play him with Patrick Kane, but he's in Rockford. But yeah, I think Kurashev is a guy that could definitely benefit from an opportunity like that. And through the first 2 games, he's looking more confident than he did last season. So that's a good start.
A couple comments I want to get to. No Royd says, is it possible that Kane is traded for picks and prospects as a rental and the Hawks re-sign him in the offseason to a contract so he can retire a Blackhawk? Of course, it's possible. It almost never happens that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the league frowns upon stuff like that or whatever. But I don't know.
If Anton Vermette can do it, Patrick Kane can do it.
That's true. I mean, it's not unprecedented. It's happened before.
Right. It's possible. It's just unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And then Brandon says, I'd love to see Kane around to mentor Bedard, keep him around. It is, of course, tempting to keep Patrick Kane around, but you're talking about getting your competitive window open again sooner. The trade package you could get for Patrick Kane, you're talking like a top prospect and a first to start the conversation. And I know we said that about Alex DeBrincat, but this is Patrick freaking Kane. This is different, right? And it's the end of a contract and all those sort of things. Like, I don't know. And there's gonna be a bidding war for him. I think I don't know. I think that's where the conversation starts for me. Is give me a high-end prospect, give me a first-round pick, and I'll pick up the phone.
Yeah,
of course.
Right.
Sorry, Greg. The options will be somewhat limited because Kane can dictate where he goes. But I still think if he wants to be traded at all, he's not going to say Rangers or bust or Colorado or bust. He'll say, here's 10 teams I will accept a trade to, or 5 or whatever. And that will start a bidding war between those teams.
That's the thing, is it's completely up to him waiving his no movement clause or not. So he could say, like, no, I don't want to be traded. I want to stick out the rebuild. Like, that could potentially happen.
Well, and theoretically too, correcting myself, he could say, yeah, I'll take a trade to the Rangers. And that's it.
Right.
Like,
and that would
he has
be
that
it,
right. Like, that's, and I just said Rangers, whatever, as a space holder, Team X, and that'll obviously diminish the return, but I still think moving him is going to accelerate that rebuild. And maybe, whatever you get, you're going to get a first round, probably it'll be a bottom half of the first round, but you're probably talking about adding your at least third or fourth best prospect at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's,
The
go ahead, Greg.
I was just gonna say the original comment was right. It would be nice to have Patrick Kane here to mentor a Connor Bedard if we get him, or an Adam Fantilli, whoever that player is. But I think it's painfully obvious that Kyle Davidson is ready to move on from the Stanley Cup era. He's done with it. He wants this organization to be done with it, and let's move on. And bringing Patrick Kane back here for 2 or 3 more seasons, while a lot of Hawks fans would love to see that, and he probably wants to break those records. I think Kyle Davis is just like it's that era is over. Let's move on.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder too, like the personality situation there too, right? Like, I don't know. I think there's probably a bit of I think players might have trouble getting comfortable around Taves and Kane, because they're such big personalities and they've accomplished so much that it's tough to be somebody that walks into this locker room. I think Seth Jones kind of last year illustrates that pretty well. Like Seth Jones is a really established player, but coming in, he took time to find his place here.
I still don't think he's completely found it yet.
Yeah,
to be
maybe
honest
not.
with you.
And maybe they need a complete washing of the dynasty for this next generation, whoever it might be. Seth Jones and insert player here, right? Lucas Reichel and Kevin Korchinski to really take their grasp of this franchise, because it still feels like it is firmly in the grasp of Taves and Kane. You can't escape those two guys. And you should. I mean, frankly, you shouldn't, because of what they've accomplished. They're legends. They're going to have statues outside the building. I'm not just like, go away. But I do think there is something to be said for like, it's time to move on. It's time for the next generation.
Yeah. And Chuck Omunko had a comment about the Avs and their historically bad season, and they only got the 4th overall pick. Granted, that 4th overall pick turned out to be Cale Makar, which
it's good scouting.
How the hell did he fall to number 4 that year? But anywho, the rules have changed since then, where the team with the worst record, the fewest amount of points, can only drop as low as 3. So if the Hawks finish with the worst record, fewest points, they will either get 1, 2, or 3. They can't drop further down. So the rules have changed since then. So yes, you are not guaranteed getting the number 1 pick when you have the fewest points, but you give yourself the best shot at that pick, and that's what they're trying to do here. So they won't fall down to 4. If they finish with that 48 points like the Avalanche did this year, they won't pick 4th. 3rd will be the worst they can do.
Yeah.
And the other sorry, go ahead, Mario.
Well, I'll save it. We'll save it for a different day.
Oh, well, Sam
we got 80 more of these.
I've noticed Sam in the chat the last couple of days, and he's been asking if I'm trying to find the exact comment. So we can't talk about betting on the games. We have 80 games worth of post-game shows to say the same things. First of all, we are doing the 80 shows, not you. And
CHGO
they're not going to be the same because every game is different. But of course we can talk about betting, and we're going to talk about betting right now because it is time for our weekly PointsBet play of the week. Make sure you download the PointsBet app. When you do, use the code CHGO, and you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Greg, we cannot take the Bears on the money line again because they already lost. What are we doing this week?
We retroactively take the Bears under.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sam, we love you. Thanks for checking in. But CHGO Bets is on every day. Get all your betting talk there with Cody and Sean.
And we can, of course, we can talk about it, but it's game 2.
Right.
We don't have a ton of.
Here's your Hawks talk. We've got it for you. Now the line isn't out yet because the Sharks play tomorrow against Carolina before they play Saturday night. So the line isn't set, but whatever it is, our PointsBet player of the week, Hawks, Sharks, Saturday night, bet the under. Bet the under. I think it's going to happen. The Sharks offensively challenged. They have 3 goals through 2 games. The Blackhawks have 2 goals through 2 games. 5 combined goals in 4 games total played. Not a lot of offense there. So, yes, the Sharks will have another game. So they're going to be on the second half of a back-to-back. And they're going to play Carolina, and they're probably going to get run out of the building against the Hurricanes. So I say take the Sharks, Blackhawks under, whatever it is. The line is not, it's probably going to be
It's 6.
5.5.
No, it's always 6. It is
It-
every time I've looked at PointsBet
Yeah.
for whatever game it is, it's 6. So
it
I would be
might be
shocked if
5
it's not 6.
Might be 5.5, but even then,
Whatever it is, take it. That's
Mhm.
got a 2-1 final score written all over it.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
PointsBet play of the week: Sharks, Blackhawks. Bet the under. Bet the under.
All right, let's get our 4th stars of the game out of the way. And then I want to talk a little bit about the broadcast. It was our first experience with Patrick Sharp and Chris Vosters. And I know we've had some people chatting about it in the chat. That was redundant. But yeah, we've got some. I think we should get to that a little bit too. So I am forced to go first. So I will. By the way, the 3 stars of the game, number 3 was Alex Stalock. Number 2 was Potter. Number 1 was Thompson for Vegas. So those are your 3 stars of the game. I'm going to give my 4th star to Philip Roos. Part of it has to do with the way he played in last night's game as well, but I've been really impressed with his first 120 minutes as a Blackhawk. Look, he's not the kind of guy who's going to make this team significantly better, but it gives them an option. It gives them someone that they could potentially project longer term as part of this team because he is still pretty young.
He's only 23.
Right. So I like the way he's played through 2 games, and I'm just interested to see what he's going to turn into. Maybe this is what he is and will remain this for his whole career. But through 2 games, I've been pretty happy with what I've seen from Roos.
Yeah, no complaints there.
Yeah, no, keep him in the lineup. I'm going to go, you picked a NHL rookie. I'm going to go with one of the vets on this team. I'm going with Tyler Johnson. He's been off to a really good start through 2 games. He had that really great assist on the Max Domi power play goal last night in Colorado, but he had another strong effort tonight. He had some nice, some more slick passes during the game. He's very noticeable. This is a guy that's easy to root for, especially after everything he went through last year to get back on the ice. He's a guy that's when you're in the room after practice or after a game, he's always there. He's ready. He's talking to his teammates. He's providing that leadership to these young players. And he's gotten off to a really good start. And that line of Tyler Johnson, Jonathan Taves, and Taylor Radish were very good tonight. They had 11 shot attempts, 4 again, and 10 against. They were the only line of the 3 Blackhawks forward lines to actually outshoot the Vegas Knights when they were on the ice. They had 5 combined shots for as opposed to 3 against. So, and he was driving that line. He's been the guy that's kind of pushing that line forward. So, good, 2 good games. Great start to Tyler Johnson. You love to see it, and that's not sarcastic. You actually love to see it. Good guy, Tyler Johnson, and a resurgence from him. Somebody's got to provide some offense, and he's trying.
Yeah.
We just got to get a couple across the line.
Yeah, he's one of those underrated guys in the locker room that you look to as someone who can keep the potentially keep the morale up as this season goes along. And if he's having some on ice success, that'd be great to see. My 4th star of the night. If you're new to this segment with the CHGO Blackhawks podcast and the 4th stars of the night, we do it because the Chicago flag has 4 stars in it, and the NHL games give out 3 stars, hence 4th star, because we are clever people. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a player. Doesn't necessarily have to be one person. I'm going to give my 4th star of the night to the Blackhawks penalty killing unit because after giving up 4 power play goals on 6 penalties to the Avalanche last night, the Blackhawks killed all 3 power plays that they allowed for the Vegas Golden Knights to have tonight. So, hey, progress. I will applaud the baby steps in progress for this team this season because we probably won't have much more besides that. But that was good to see. Especially against a team like Vegas, who can be dangerous on the power play. They have a lot of skilled guys out there, and I think the Blackhawks penalty kill unit did a good job, and Alex Stalock was a big part of it. So.
Yeah. And not having the Avalanche power play unit on the ice helped them look better too, because that's a frightening entity right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I tweeted out that the Hawks penalty kill unit was much better tonight, Jesse Granger, my buddy who covers the Golden Knights for the Athletic, replied, "Well, if anytime you want to get your PK unit back on track, face the Vegas Knights power play unit." So apparently they're not very good at what they do, but we'll take it. It's a confidence booster. So way to go.
Yeah, that works. All right, let's get to the broadcast here. And we got a first comment as Brandon says, Chris Vosters hates Chicago sports. Let me tell you this. I don't think Chris Vosters hates anything.
No,
he is like
not.
the sweetest guy in the world. I don't think he has like a
He's
vindictive bone in his body. He's almost too nice.
Yeah, Chris is a good dude.
Yeah.
Before earlier today, my better half and I watched that Barney the Dinosaur documentary that came out on Peacock, and Chris Foster's is like the human embodiment of. He's not, but he is like the human embodiment of Barney the Dinosaur. Always positive, always happy. So yeah,
and people hate him for no reason.
Exactly, because he's too positive. And I bet you if we get Chris to call in from his childhood bedroom, there might be some Barney toys somewhere in there.
No, I think the crew sounded good. There's obvious chemistry with Sharp and Vosters. I really like. I think Sharp he's finding his way, but he's been critical. He's been fair. One thing I liked was, when Stalock was adventuring out of the net, I wasn't sure if he was going to say anything about it. Because I don't know how players feel about that. Like if you're going back to retrieve a puck and you look up and your goalie's, going to get the puck for you, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Patrick Sharp described what he was doing and then said, and players love that. Defensemen love it because it takes some pressure off of them. Cool. That's the sort of insight I want, right? Is he Eddie Olczyk? No, he's not. But it's his
first regular season
game.
Yeah.
So I like that he was analyzing, pointing things out, and I think what I like about Vosters is he knows his role is to call the game and then get the insight and analysis from Patrick Sharp. Sometimes he'll just lay out and let Sharpie take over. Sometimes Vosters will ask him a direct question. Hey, in this situation, what are you trying to do here? That's great. That's what you want your broadcast to look like. And as Vosters learns more about the game and their chemistry develops, it's going to get that natural flow that Foley and Olczyk had because it's going to become second nature.
I'll give you a little peek behind the curtain. Chris Vosters is trying to learn as much as he can about hockey as quickly as possible. He was in Denver last night, obviously not broadcasting the game because it was on TNT. He sat in the press box, right? He was right next to our guy Charlie and myself the whole night, and he had his notebook out. He was asking us questions the whole night, trying to, like, when he didn't completely understand something in the play, he wanted to know, or he was like, hey, am I right by saying that this is, he is being a sponge right now. You got to remember, he's not a hockey guy, but he's learning, trying to become more educated on the intricacies of the game. And, he probably filled 3 or 4 pages of his notebook just watching that game. And that was really cool to see. He is working hard at his craft, and I've been impressed so far. And as I said, great dude. So I think that we're going to see. I know he's replacing Pat Foley, and that's
impossible.
But he's not trying to be Pat Foley. He's trying to be Chris Foster's. And I think as the season goes on, and he and Patrick Sharp get more chemistry to go together, I like where they're going. I think you're going to see less and less fans bitching about Chris Foster's for no reason just because he's not Pat Foley. So I like where the broadcast is going, and I like that it's not a different guy every night. That helps too.
Yeah. And he's got for Chris, he's got two very hockey intelligent people to play off of in both Patrick Sharp and Troy Murray. So I mean, for his first season, the situation that kind of came up with Eddie Olczyk, we thought he was going to really help Vosters in his role. Obviously now Eddie's no longer with the team, but he's got Sharp and he's got Murray to play off of, and I think as the season goes on, he only had a handful of games last year, so he's still learning. He's still getting the getting comfortable with it, and so is Sharp, and so I think as the season goes on, I think that level of comfort is going to continue to grow, and the chemistry is going to grow. And yeah, by midseason, I think we're going to have, probably no complaints about the broadcast.
Well,
On
he's
the
also,
ice,
yeah,
plenty to complain about.
sure. He's also got Colby Cohen, who
Yeah.
those two guys seem to be pretty close.
Yeah,
Off the ice, and
they're
I know
connected at the hip at practice. They're always together talking.
Yeah.
And listen, Colby Cohen never stops talking about hockey. The man loves the game. So sitting next to him for a couple hours a day, you're going to absorb a lot of great hockey info.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like the dynamic of Vosters and Sharp in the booth and Colby between the benches. I think that is the best way to do it.
That's a good setup.
Colby was in studio today. So was Scott Darling. We should talk about him a little bit. He was brought into the NBC Sports Chicago team with Kaylee Chelios and Colby and Pat Boyle. And first show for him, and he was good. They were talking a lot about his stand-up comedy career and all those things. But when it came time to talk about the game, he seemed comfortable. And look, I think that a lot of people think that is an easy thing to do. It's not. Once those lights go on, and the camera goes on, you get nervous. And I still get nervous before every show. I don't want to speak for you guys either, but there's always nerves, no matter how long you've been doing this. And I think he handled it really well. And I do think he's going to get a lot better and calmer, because he's kind of rushing through his thoughts a little bit. You could tell he was feeling, but that is the most typical thing for a new broadcaster is you got to slow down, enunciate, don't say all the time, which I do all the time. But he'll get better. Yeah. And he's working with a bunch of pros over there. So no doubt I'm happy for him too, that he found a role talking about this team, because he's another great dude. And fans love Scott Darling, and they should.
He's a great story. And as somebody who has, dealt with some demons and has daily fight staying sober, he's a hero of mine. I'd love to get him on the show one of these times, now that he's, it's not a far trip to the West Loop from Lamont. Maybe we should get him in the show. He's from Lamont, right?
I don't know if
I heard a rumor about that.
I think so.
I think they mentioned that once on a broadcast about 6 years ago.
It's not.
I think that's true.
Familiar. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would love to have him. And look, any Charlie or whoever, come on down. I just think that they have this kind of we have a podcast and you have a podcast, so we have to be enemies.
No.
Let's all help each other. It's a big community. We all do different stuff, So I'd love to have any of those guys, but Darling for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be great to talk with them.
And we got some, after Saturday, we've got 4 days off until the next game.
Couple of days.
So we'll have some time. So hopefully we can find a guest or two to swing by and visit with us.
Yeah, we don't have 4 days off, but the team does.
Yeah, the team does. Exactly. No games to discuss.
No games to discuss. But we can get really amped up for the Blackhawks and Red Wings as they reignite the rivalry on opening night for the United Center.
Always excited for Hawks and Wings. I don't care what the situation is, who's good, who's bad. It is always a special night for me. Every time. Yeah. Love it.
I look forward to seeing all the Red Wings fans from Naperville and Downers Grove at the at the UC on Friday night.
Yeah, exactly. There's some D-bag that hangs a Red Wings flag outside his house every time the Hawks and Wings play. So might go set it on fire.
Hey, it's right before Halloween. Get a dozen eggs, and
I'll blame it on some youths.
Yeah. TP the house.
I saw a band of ruffians running that way. They're wearing Avalanche shirts. All right, let's wrap it up, fellas, shall we?
Yes,
time to go to bed.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat. Again, we've been seeing some new names in there. Brandon, Lynn is in there. Sam's been with us the last few nights. So thanks everybody for checking us out. Make sure you tell a friend about it, because chances are, if you're a hockey fan, you know a couple others, let them know as we get our season underway here. We're going to make it fun, even though the season might not be that fun after all. So for Mario and Greg, I'm Jay. Thanks to Steven for producing the show. We will talk to you late night Saturday after the Hawks and Sharks. This has been the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.